goodness. This is crazy. Okay, I'm late, but fashionable. So, uh, I wonder why. Let's not delve into why I'm late, please. It's really embarrassing. But let's go. Okay, I'm ready. Another day, another dollar. Another day, another mystery. Hopefully. Okay. So let's close all the other stuff. I almost closed my program. Very bad. Very, very bad. Okay, so let's make sure that everything is silenced because we don't want someone suddenly calling in the middle of stream like last time. No offense to the people. Okay. Okay, we're all good. We're all set. Let's go. Let me launch the game on my controller. I should invest in an asset that shows that I'm using a controller. I don't know. It's just a thought. Maybe invest in an asset that shows that I'm wearing a controller. But otherwise, it doesn't matter. It's all good. Oh, okay. Okay, wait, let's check before I do anything else. Oh, I sound so tired. I'm so sorry. Okay, Ace Attorney. And the game capture is Ace Attorney as well. Okay, let's drink water and get the show on the road. Okay. Actually, before that, let me just... uh, 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 uh. Hmm. Okay. 1 second, guys. Let me just make sure that something is okay. Is this one? This is not the one I'm looking for. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, we're ready. I just set up my Twitch stuff, sorry. Okay, let's go. Oh, why is it so loud? Oh wow, the starting screen changed. It's not the courtroom anymore. Okay. Oh wait, that's not. this one is better. Do I have to dub everything again? I'm not complaining, but wow. I mean, March 14, 4:18 a.m. Prosecutor's building. 12th floor hallway. Oh! I made sure to put my camera as close to my face as my phone as close to my face as possible now. So it means that like I could see everything. Yay. What's with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please, maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. So then, what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Byard. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Eh? Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Byard is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is a perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Okay. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Bro, I'm gonna enter it. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for the visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know. You would sleep even out here, detective? In a hallway? Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? Maybe I should give it a try sometimes. To envision myself winning, naturally. Okay, let's just get this book. Huh? It's... isn't this that missing Zero series file, sir? No doubt about it. No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seemed to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. So, what are these Zero files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly. Just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine. Eh? They belong to the high prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. Then that means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. Okay. Oh, hi, Porksy. Hope you're having a good day today. Night. It's night. Eh? What's a basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. This office. 1203. Hey, Maggie! Whose room is this again? It's Mr. Portsman, sir. So he's my new neighbor. I see. I suppose he moved in while I was away overseas? Oh, Payne, sup? It looks like you're in quite a pinch, Mr. It looks like you're in quite a pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly, post haste. Sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? That's Ouchie. No, that's Pain, actually. Is everything alright? Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning, and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Pounds? Wait, I need a converter. Hey, not bad. 154, not bad. That's great. Like, nice. Congratulations. But I was asking about this hallway and this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. A word of advice. Stay focused, or you may start to lose even more weight. Is he trying to gain or lose? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. 1202. These four numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops. Hey, these number plates slide right out, sir. They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Oh, okay, that was Edgeworth. Oh, one more time. They have to be able to take off the plate when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... I know, it's kind of isn't it? I agree. I don't see any signs of forced entry. And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir. Oh. Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted off from the doorknob? Apparently, the doorknob's as clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think. Whoever this thief is did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. What about a hinge? A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's sturdily made, making it near impossible to break in by force. It's almost majestic, sir. I wish I could be as stately as this door. Only Gumshoe would praise a door as something greater than himself. Being a detective has its own rewards and a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, this a poignant trait that anyone can admire. Poignant? I see! So you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone? Right. That long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir. Okay, that's it. Okay, ready. Okay. What's his basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Drag it? I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself. All the way up to the 12th floor? Brr. Well, fucking dedication, man. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. Edgy poo. Edgy boy. Edgy boy. I'm sorry, I remembered Pegasus. I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her with a Y. Oh my days. Excuse me. The victim. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun! Just once I'd love to play with them. It sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in. I don't think I'd have fit in all that well with them. Maggie Byard. Miss Maggie Byard, correct? I take it you're an acquaintance of the detective. Oh, shoot. She was under my supervision back when she was still in the force, sir. One day, she got caught up in a murder, and things started going downhill, so she quit. But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind? You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Huh? Since I was 6 months old, when I fell from the ninth floor of my... What the... I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, and now I even managed to be named the criminal, just when I've become a security guard. Oh my days. And just when I thought I finally found my happiness, I wound up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Byard, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Yes, sir! Mr. Edgeworth, you can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. Okay, let's present the master key. So, when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. I was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? Ah, it's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say? Except for this time, correct? Well, I admit that I was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sorta using it at the time. It was after I had used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge. She used the master key. Weird. What do you mean by you used the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah! What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bride. Quickly! Forgetful Mr. Portsman. What? It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him? No way! It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then, what happened after that? Well, he called for me to come up close to his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think. So, in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, You used the master key twice tonight. Talk about suspicious. I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, Detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. Okay. Um. Oh, oops. So if I remember correctly, last episode, a prosecutor's badge is the chrysanthemum, since they work for the government of Japan. A defense attorney's badge is a sunflower, because GU, freedom. Incidentally, the police badge is sakura. Oh my days. It's time to logic. Files in disarray, okay? Master key was stolen. Use master key. This key went missing from approximately 1 a.m. until 2:30 a.m. This key was used to unlock and lock Portsman's office at 12 a.m. and 1:30 a.m. Miss Bard, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal! I mean, sir. You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at the time. Wow! Nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I had totally forgotten all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right. It was around that very time that I realized that the master key was missing. And well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir. So in actuality, you never did relock the door then. Well, I thought that that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Okay. We know what to do. Okay, well, 1 second. Let me drink water. Okay. Room 1203. I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office? Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. That reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly, but since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd. Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. I can think of at least 3. Bah, why am I even wasting time thinking about this? Yep. Oh, okay, that's a new. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these. Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Well, he seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. Oh my god, he doesn't know. The door is locked tight. Hey, I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Aha! So I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. Might I advise you to return to the conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Yes. There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. What if Miss Byron said is true? Then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know, you're right. Miss Bard, are you sure you didn't really lock this door? I'm certain of it, sir, and I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I had it. Which means what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bard opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. She opened a different door? But how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine these prints on the number plate. Oh, wait. Is it not? Everything? Really? Like what, sir? Like, well, for example, and such as, well, we know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles. Wow! That was amazing, sir! How'd you know? Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. That's it. Now then, we should get back to doing what we need to do, and that is... we need to examine these prints on the doorknob. Let's go! The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal! Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what do you find? There's no need for such a belligerent nose-flaring, detective. Sir, I have found only Mr. Portsman and Mr. Fate's prints on this doorknob. So, only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. Huh? I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose print should also be on this doorknob? Maggie Byard. Don't you find it odd that the prints of a person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean, yes, the door that Miss Byard opened could not have been this one, but a different one. What do we have here? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. What's this? It looks like a scrap of paper. Paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence just like we talked about on the phone. But it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy. Yeah, and it's for Mr. Portsman. Note left by victim data jotted down in my organizer. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game? That's okay, detective. I just found that the position of this hoop is a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I'd better take note of this. Nice. Poking around this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat. with the real culprit of this case. Before that, though. It's the master key to every office in the building. No shit. You know who the killer is? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, as long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. I might only be streaming for a little bit because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of really tired. So maybe after this, I would, may call it a day because honestly, I'm a little bit, exhausted. I mean, I don't, yeah, I think it's best to just, it's good that we can save at any point in time though. That's what's important. So, hopefully, yeah, let's get through this and the first half of maybe the next case. Let's see how we go. March 14, 5:12 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Mr. Portsman, I've finished processing the bloody letters, sir. All right, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You there, take care of this. War! War! Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line to you. End of the line for you, Portsman. We got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jack Sportsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. Well, you must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay, if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Ha ha! Who would have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although, that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you have yet to prove anything. Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad for doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusations on. With evidence. Sorry guys, I took in a lozenge just to like help my throat. I hope I don't need to press this, but I'll present it on the part where he talks about the key. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less. Wait. Hold on for a second. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. You had asked Miss Byard to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Byard open at the time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsmouth's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Byard backs up my story. Yet, what if you had misled her? To fool her into thinking what you wanted. Ha! And how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right! They do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression that the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. Well, what? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited just to sit outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. That's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsmouth. There are signs that the door's hoop There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit in front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. The letter. So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Byard is dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please, calm down. I, for one, intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here. This one is kind of easy to do because like all the stuffs are stacked against him. That was a lie. What are you talking about? How's that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you are out." You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Ah! Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bard open for you. That's just some nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way! This is proof. This is positive proof that you had Miss Bard open the door for you. Oh wow! I just guessed. I had your door dusted for prints. My door? Huh? What for? Come on! I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. You're right. I didn't find anything, and definitely not Miss Bard's fingerprints. Her prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her print should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Ugh. Furthermore, all the prints on my office door's knob have been wiped off clean. I can only assume it's because Miss Bard's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. 1 second. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he had heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. When I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. Eh, 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 eh. And what's so funny, pal? Well, the look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that doorknob down as well. Eh? I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see? I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had already touched, which is why I wiped the doorknob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left there before I arrived at the office, like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. Now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. But you can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here. Mm. Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he simply didn't overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only just realized I had one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. I am so sleepy. Hmm. 1 second, let me just drink water. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Porksy. It do be how it be, you know what I mean? Okay, let's go back. Portsman's alibi. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had the unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But exactly at that time, I was down at Criminal Affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. Do you really think that it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe. Sir, yes, sir. I'll go check on his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edwards. Okay, I'm joking. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down in Criminal Affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m. You see? All of the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Oh, shoot. You are correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with time. I remember checking my watch then. Make no mistake, it was 2. Ooh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. It is as you say. However, yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I feel I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's a perfect alibi. Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. Oh shit. And it was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. A number of detectives said that they saw you at around the around that time. See? I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Ugh. Portsman's alibi may seem perfect at first glance, but I know there's a hole in it somewhere. All I need to do is press a little and see what comes of it. So, you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit. Yup. Right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Impossible! He actually does have the perfect alibi. What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face? Can you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? Heh. I think we reached the end of the line. It's time to get off this crazy train. You there! Sir! Please escort this young lady out, but remember, be gentle. Maggie! Detective Gumshoe! Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. Well, shit. Oh, shoot. Evidence points to the shelf being disturbed once before and once after the murder. But who is to say that the person who did it the second time is the same as the first? Which should mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. If indeed there were two culprits, then that resolves the contradiction behind our murder weapon. Despite the fact that there are two bullets here in this room, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, leaving the possibility that the other bullet was fired from the other visitor's gun. Furthermore, if we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back, Mr. Portman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great, so you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth! Sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means in actuality, two culprits stole into my office tonight. Well, what do you mean two? Excuse me. It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were two guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Byard and gained entry into my office. Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Grrr. Now then, returning to my scenario. Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Right. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? But why didn't Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right? He must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out. Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Fate's gun from him. And then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped down the gun and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left a fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another? I'm not gonna lie, I am falling asleep because of exhaustion. Okay. Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room and entered my room and searched through my shelves. That was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. They had the stolen old file, right, sir? Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So the shelves getting messed up twice and the two bullets, it was all because two different people were doing those things at two different times? Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and was in fact not Mr. Fate's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person now is irrelevant because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right. It would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, useless. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. Grr, Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must. You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. The thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was in my training room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. So, you think we should be out there looking for the thief? Of course! Now isn't the time to be having these dead-end discussions. I don't think it's all dead-end. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here, at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, we gotta. I can't expect you to know, can I? Nope, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions. Oh, then let's see you deduce. Jim waited for me to leave and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And then that's when Miss Bard caught him red-handed, and the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I laid out earlier. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Okay. Uh-huh. So I can't be expected to know what happened around the time after I left, huh? I must object to your fine line of logic. And what do you have an... oh, shoot. Oh, oops. Uh, Calm down, Miles. Listen carefully and think everything through a bit more rationally. Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? Ah, that's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know the sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? They were things related to yesterday's case. Just two items, a gun and a pendant. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let sleep slip through the cracks. Okay. Oh shoot. Ah. He brought me two items, a gun and a pendant. Okay. Only two pieces? I believe the proper phrase here is you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully. Ah, it says that Mr. Faith was bringing three pieces. Yes, and this is the last and the victim's real dying last message. I can't believe it, to get tripped up by simple arithmetic. Where's the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't ya? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe, you don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. What? Don't come any closer. I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal, so don't even think about stopping me. No! Hey, what's this? He had this on him. Sir? Despite what you said, it would appear that you have something to hide. But why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber, because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little bit more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. KG8. Ah, that's blood, isn't it? Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood? No, you've got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find out. You told us you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way into the video. Yeah, it's totally suspicious. Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints. Nah! If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible. I'm I. Eee. Shit. March 14, 5:47 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. The blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in the murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. Let's save. It was nothing. Really. Compared to what I've been through. Really. I consider myself lucky that it was only burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. And why would you say he was corrupt? Well, I heard there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir. Forged evidence? And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Whoa, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office. Yeah, whenever we got near the topic, he just clammed up. Although we can be pretty certain it was to steal something. This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes. Oh, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly leads to credence to that rumor. It would seem that I haven't heard the last of this. Huh? Then Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy? I didn't say that, but rather there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. Oh, we still haven't figured out the significant. We still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. The person who stole this file, other than the villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who it was, and what happened to the stolen pages. I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card. What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there? It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective. Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief that everyone's been talking about. Yes, it is the mark of the great thief, Yatagaras. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence, and always with perfection. Once the target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is set forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasa's last appearance. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth! Look, something's written on the back. What? Let me see. It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. So, the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasa? Yatagaras. 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 Quite a few keywords are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagaras. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming, for they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. Yay, we finished it. Huh? Mr. What's up? Just an Ace Attorney fan cruising through streams. Hi! I'm sorry. I didn't notice you dropping by. I hope you had fun. I was trying to, I was trying to dub the voices as well. Okay, Turnabout Airlines. That's a good place to stop. Ooh. This is good. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I never thought that it'd be taxing to voice this game. Like, really? Because it's not a voiced game. Like, and I don't want to just read through because we all have different reading speeds. So I just decided to, voice them. But I didn't take into consideration how taxing that would be because there's so many characters. And, well, I have one throat. You know what I mean? I do love this game, and I will continue it tomorrow. The way I do it is I normally do, maybe one half of the case, just to see how much I can, voice act. It is pretty bad, so forgive me for that. I hope you can drop by tomorrow because I'll be continuing with episode 2. Turnabout Airlines. We will see our favorite Tuntun, Miss, what's her name? Oh my gosh. Von Karma. Franziska von Karma. So yeah. I hope everyone will come back to the stream, and yeah, see you all tomorrow. I'm gonna go to bed. Bye!